You cheated. Mr. Reynolds didn't say it quietly. He said it so the entire classroom could hear. You think I'm stupid? The word cheated hung in the air like something dirty. 32 students turned. Some smirked, some froze. Aaron Park stood beside his desk, hands at his sides, face calm, not arguing, not apologizing, just standing there while his teacher held up a test paper and said, 100%, perfect. On a test half of you couldn't even finish. A few students laughed. Mr. Reynolds pointed at him. You did not do this on your own. And in that moment, the room had already decided what Aaron was. Let me guess, Mr. Reynolds continued. Solution Bank, cheat forum, some little group chat where you people trade answers and call it talent. A ripple moved across the room. Jason Whitaker leaned back in his chair, smirking. There it is, Jason muttered. Knew it. Mr. Reynolds stepped closer. We don't tolerate shortcuts, we don't tolerate dishonesty, and we do not tolerate students trying to make a fool out of me. His voice lowered. So I'll ask once, where did you get the answers? Aaron blinked. I solved them. Jason barked a laugh. Sure, and my dog does my homework. More laughter. Not everyone. Enough. In the third row, Mei Chen stared at her desk. She didn't laugh. She'd seen this before. Mr. Reynolds jerked his chin toward the board. Up here, hands visible. No phone, no notes. Excited whispers spread. Aaron stepped forward at his own pace. Mr. Reynolds uncapped a marker. You solved it, then solve this. He wrote fast. Aggressive strokes, dense symbols stacked into something uglier than the original test. He underlined the last condition. Let's see your magic. Aaron studied the board once, then picked up the marker. Silence. He began writing. Clean, deliberate, no hesitation. Mr. Reynolds stood with his arms crossed, waiting. Jason leaned toward his friend. 30 seconds, he whispered. He'll freeze. A suppressed laugh. Aaron erased one symbol, replaced it with something simpler. Continued. 2 minutes passed, the laughter faded. 3. The room tightened. Aaron simplified the expression halfway down the board. Something complicated folded into something elegant. A student murmured, wait. Quiet, Mr. Reynolds snapped, but it didn't land. Aaron finished, underlined the answer once, stepped back. Silence. Mr. Reynolds stared at the solution. Jason's smirk faltered. You didn't show it like that on the test, Mr. Reynolds said quickly. You skipped steps. I didn't skip them, Aaron replied evenly. I didn't write steps you didn't ask for. Discomfort shifted in the seats. You're being smart with me. No, sir. You think you're above the rules. No, sir. Jason scoffed. So he's Rain Man, cool. Still doesn't mean he didn't cheat. A few forced laughs. Mr. Reynolds seized it. Exactly, you could have memorized that? You think I don't know what's online? He lifted the test paper. You think because you're quiet, no one questions you? Because you sit there like a good little student, we're supposed to assume you're innocent? Mai's breath caught. Aaron didn't react. If you want, he said calmly, give me another one. That snapped something. Oh, you want another one? Mr. Reynolds barked. You want to perform? He turned and wrote again. Faster, harder. No one in this room solves that in under 30 minutes, he said, stepping aside. Go ahead. Aaron faced the board, and before the marker touched it, the door opened. A man in a suit stepped inside, tablet in hand, calm. Mr. Reynolds froze. The man's eyes moved from the board to Aaron, then to Mr. Reynolds. I'm sorry to interrupt, he said evenly. The district academic director Morales. The room straightened. Mr. Reynolds stiffened. Director Morales, this is unexpected. I'm conducting a routine observation, Morales said. He studied the problem on the board, long enough for the silence to hurt. Then he looked directly at Mr. Reynolds. Why, he asked quietly, are you giving an Olympiad-level problem to a student in an AP calculus class? Mr. Reynolds blinked. Jason's smirk disappeared. Mai slowly lifted her head. Aaron stood still, quiet, and for the first time the balance in the room shifted. Mr. Reynolds forced a laugh. Olympiad level? No, it's enrichment. We push our top students. Director Morales didn't respond. He stepped farther into the room, unhurried. His eyes moved across the board. Then to Aaron. Aaron met his gaze briefly. Morales nodded once. Mr. Reynolds swallowed. I was addressing an academic integrity issue, he said quickly. Aaron submitted a perfect exam using methods we haven't covered. He doesn't participate. He's quiet. So I asked him to demonstrate. An integrity issue, Morales repeated. He turned to Aaron. Aaron, were you accused of cheating? Yes, sir. No emotion, just fact. I didn't accuse him, Mr. Reynolds snapped. I'm verifying. When something exceeds the curriculum, I question it. Morales raised one finger. Mr. Reynolds stopped. Morales looked back at the board. This is a qualifier-style prompt, he said, not AP. I've taught for 18 years, Mr. Reynolds replied. I know what my students can handle. Do you know what this student can handle? Morales asked. Silence. Jason shifted in his seat. Mai lifted her head slightly. Mr. Reynolds glanced at Aaron. He's smart, he said. But we have standards, Sop. We can't assume honesty just because someone looks polite. Because they look polite, Morales repeated. Mr. Reynolds stiffened. I mean, appearances can be deceiving. Morales glanced down at his tablet. Mr. Reynolds, are you familiar with the state mathematics registry? In general. I heard your voice from the hallway, Morales continued. I heard the words, you people. The room went still. Jason's smirk vanished. Mai's jaw tightened. Mr. Reynolds opened his mouth. I didn't mean. Morales lifted his finger again. Silence. And I ask, Morales continued calmly, because Aaron Park is listed in that registry. A whisper tried to rise. What? Morales didn't look at the class. He placed first in the state mathematics competition. The word hung. First. Jason swallowed. Mr. Reynolds stared. He has been undefeated in district-level contests for 3 years, Morales said. He has already qualified for national selection. The air shifted. Students who laughed earlier stared at their desks. Morales tilted the tablet slightly toward Mr. Reynolds. Mr. Reynolds leaned forward despite himself. Numbers, dates, rankings, proof, and, Morales added, he has qualified for international selection. No applause, only quiet. The kind that makes you aware of what you said 10 minutes ago. That can't be, Mr. Reynolds muttered. It is. Mr. Reynolds' jaw flexed. But he stopped. Morales held his gaze. But he's what? No answer. Reynolds forced a brittle laugh. He's quiet. He doesn't act like that kind of student. Act like what kind? Morales asked. Mr. Reynolds had nothing. Morales gestured toward the board. This is not cheating, he said. He looked at Aaron. This is fluency. The word landed clean. Mr. Reynolds stiffened. You're undermining me, he said, voice rising. In my own classroom. I'm observing, Morales replied. I was maintaining standards, Mr. Reynolds snapped. If we let students skip steps, they start believing they deserve praise without discipline. Is that what happened here? Morales asked quietly, or is that what you needed to believe? A few students inhaled sharply. Jason stared at his desk. May's shoulders lowered. Mr. Reynolds pointed at Aaron. He didn't even hesitate. That's not normal. I did think, Aaron said calmly, before I wrote. Mr. Reynolds turned on him. Don't act humble. If you're so advanced, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you say you're too good for this class? His words came faster now. You sit there like some little robot, perfect scores. Never speak, make everyone else look stupid. The room shifted again. This wasn't authority. This was exposure. You think memorizing tricks makes you superior? Mr. Reynolds demanded. Aaron didn't react. Morales' voice cut through. Mr. Reynolds. What? Step into the hallway with me. No anger, just command. The room went completely silent. Mr. Reynolds hesitated, then forced a smile. Fine. He grabbed his gradebook and walked toward the door. As he passed Aaron, he muttered, Don't look so pleased. Aaron didn't move. The door closed halfway behind them. The class remained frozen. Mai looked at Aaron carefully now, not with awe, with relief. She had seen quiet students accused before, seen them shrink. This time was different. From the hallway came fragments. Unacceptable. Pattern. I have standards. Morales' voice lower, sharper. Not standards. Bias. The word drifted into the room. Jason's face drained. Mai exhaled slowly. Aaron stood beside the board, hands at his sides. The ink on the solution dried, and the room waited, not for the next lesson, for the correction. The hallway went quiet. No raised voices, no footsteps, just a pause that stretched too long. Then the door opened. Director Morales stepped back inside. Mr. Reynolds followed. Half a step behind. That was new. Mr. Reynolds wasn't red, he wasn't shouting, but something had drained out of him. The weight he usually carried into a room, gone. Morales faced the class. Thank you for your patience. No one moved. There was an error in judgment during this period. The words were precise. Aaron Park's work is legitimate. A whisper started, died quickly. Morales turned to Aaron. Your performance reflects fluency beyond this curriculum. He didn't dramatize it. He simply said it. Then he faced Mr. Reynolds. You will refrain from further public accusations without formal review, Morales said. You will submit documentation regarding today's incident. Mr. Reynolds nodded. Tight, controlled. I will also be recommending a reassessment of advanced placement practices in this classroom. A reassessment, not a suspension. Worse, someone would be watching. Morales looked at Aaron once more. If you're willing, I'd like to discuss district-level mentorship after school. Yes, sir. Morales inclined his head and left. The door closed softly. Silence remained, but it changed. Before it was tension. Now it was exposure. Mr. Reynolds stood near the door for a moment, then walked back to the front. Not towering, not looming. He looked at the solution on the board, at its clean structure, then at Aaron. You could have told me, he said. The room leaned in. It wasn't an apology. It was an attempt to regain ground. Aaron met his eyes. You didn't ask. No triumph, no edge, just truth. It landed heavier than shouting. Mr. Reynolds inhaled. For a moment it looked like he might push again, but the room wasn't his anymore. Jason stared at his desk. The students who laughed avoided eye contact. May looked straight ahead, not down. Mr. Reynolds picked up the marker, set it down. We'll continue, he muttered. He wrote the next problem, but his handwriting had lost its force. When he said, pay attention, it didn't echo. Authority, once cracked, doesn't sound the same. Aaron returned to his seat. Second row from the back. Same posture, same stillness. He didn't look around. That unsettled them most. Jason shifted in his chair. He opened his mouth slightly as if a joke might come. It didn't. Because jokes require control, and he didn't have it. When the bell rang, the sound felt sharper than usual. Students stood. Chairs scraped, but the energy was subdued. Jason passed Aaron's desk, paused, said nothing, kept walking. May lingered. You didn't even look scared, she said quietly. Aaron closed his notebook. I was. She blinked. You were? He nodded once. I just didn't let him see it. She exhaled slowly. Thank you, she said. For what? For not backing down. Aaron didn't respond. He hadn't seen it as bravery, just accuracy. After school, he sat across from Director Morales in a small office, blinds half closed, light cutting across the desk. You handled yourself with restraint, Morales said. My parents say anger wastes time, Aaron replied. Morales studied him. You don't have to shrink to fit a room. Aaron looked at the faint ink stain on his finger. I wasn't shrinking, he said. I just don't talk unless it changes something. Morales allowed a small smile. That, he said, is rare. He slid a paper across the table. District mentorship, advanced research track, international preparation. You've earned this, Morales said, whether that classroom recognized it or not. Aaron nodded. Yes, sir. The world outside continued. Hallways buzzed, doors shut. Nothing exploded, but something had shifted. The following week, when Aaron finished a test early, no one laughed. When he raised his hand, Mr. Reynolds called on him. When he explained a solution, students listened. Mr. Reynolds never used the phrase, you people again. His voice stayed measured. Careful, authority hadn't vanished, but it had been hollowed and everyone felt it. Aaron remained the same, quiet, precise, observant. He didn't grow louder, he didn't need to. The truth had already spoken, and the room, once quick to laugh, had learned the weight of silence. If Aaron's story moved you, don't just watch, act. Share this video with someone who's ever been doubted for being quiet. Then do more. Support academic mentorship programs in your community. Volunteer to tutor a student who doesn't speak up but thinks deeply. Donate calculators, textbooks, or your time to immigrant youth navigating systems that underestimate them. Sponsor one student this year, not as charity, but as an investment in brilliance that doesn't always look loud. Comment below with organizations in your area that support immigrant students, math leagues, or first-generation scholars. Let's make sure no student has to prove their worth in front of a room just to be believed. Subscribe to Beyond the Model Minority for more stories of invisible strength, quiet power, and earned dignity. Because the next Aaron Park is out there right now, sitting in the second row, finishing early, saying nothing, and the world might still be laughing. Let's change that. For everyone who was told to shrink, your fluency was never the problem.